Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today I've got a review for the Cloudlifter Z. This is a variable impedance mic activator from Cloud. We're going to talk about more of what that means in just a second, but you're probably familiar with this other Cloud activator called the CL1. I've been using this one for a number of years to give me clean gain for some of my lower output or lower impedance microphones like this one, which is the SM7B. I know a lot of you following the channel are using this mic, and it can be extremely picky with the preamp that you're using because a lot of you may be trying to crank the preamp on an inferior quality interface, and the quality of the gain that's being introduced there can give you a lot of noise with some of these lower impedance microphones, and it can also change the tonality and characteristics in a not pleasant way. So that's where the CL1 came in handy, giving us that transparent gain that you need. So I got my hands on this Cloudlifter Z, which I was not familiar with. We have this super powerful control over the impedance, the output impedance of our microphone. So what this means is that we can actually change the impedance here with this knob, and it changes the tonality of the microphone. It also changes the noise floor, the characteristics of the noise floor. So as you know, there's a little bit of a noise floor in some of these dynamic mics, and we can actually change the tone of that with the Cloudlifter Z. Pretty cool. We also have a high pass filter, and that combined with the impedance control can give you even more flexibility in terms of shaping the tone. And then finally, we have the max and more control toggle switch for the output. So very briefly, let's just talk about variable impedance, what that actually means. You're going to see some numbers on the Cloudlifter Z like 150, 3K, 15K, and this is just referring to ohms, which is the measurement of the output impedance that's being introduced for our microphone. So again, you don't have to think too scientifically about it. You'll see here in a second when we start changing these values along with the high pass filter, we get vastly different tonalities with the microphone, and we change the noise floor and a lot of things that are happening as we're sending that signal into our preamp. We're taking a look at the front panel of the Cloudlifter Z, and this is my mic input over here, and then of course we have our mic output over there, which is going to my preamp. And just for reference purposes, I am using the onboard preamps on my RME UFX. They're known for being quite transparent. Wanted to give you all a very clean and objective listen to what the Cloudlifter Z is doing. So as far as our controls here, we have a high pass filter toggle, and then on the other side we have a max and more control toggle switch for the output. Now the max is going to be the standard 25 dB of additional gain, as you're familiar with the CL1, and then the more is going to be 12 dB of additional gain. So if you have a mic where you want to take that boost down a little bit, you have that control. So obviously the main feature of the Cloudlifter Z is this Z knob, which controls the microphone output impedance with our preamp. It can give you a lot of different sounds with your mics. Right now I'm using an SM7B. I'm going to let you get a little demo of what this is doing. You're going to want to listen with some headphones or be on some good monitors. It might seem subtle, but it's quite a dramatic difference here. So we're going to leave this toggle for the high pass filter flat. So we're at 3K now. Let's turn this back to 1.5K, and you start to hear that the noise floor, the character of the noise floor changes, and we also get a quite different proximity effect. So at 150K, so just from there to 3K, you can hear that noise floor changing as well as the tone of the mic. So let's go the other way towards 7K, and then 11K, and then finally we're at 15K. So quite a nice proximity effect. I really like the tone that it's giving me over the SM7B all the way at 15K there. So now let's turn on the high pass filter. So we'll switch that on, and at 15K, this is effectively just reducing the subsonic frequencies, which is below 20 hertz. That's useful when we want to make sure that we're not overloading the preamp with any kind of crazy low frequencies that may be being introduced. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to keep talking as we move this variable impedance control. And again, taking note that we do have the high pass filter engaged, and just letting you hear the noise floor there. And the tone is quite a bit different. Again, the proximity effect, but then coupled with that high pass filter control, you're getting a wide spectrum of different sounds out of this dynamic mic. So now that we've had a look at the features as well as gone through some of the tone shaping abilities just with my narration on the Cloudlifter Z, just want to kind of give you my perspective on this and whether or not I would recommend it. First of all, you already get the 25 dB of clean transparent gain in here, same thing as the CL1, but then we add that variable impedance as well as the high pass filter, the output control. So I find those things extremely powerful. Those of you who are working with dynamic mics with low impedance, maybe you're working with ribbon mics that need more gain. If you want to have a lot more tone shaping ability and you want to shape the noise floor as well as mic proximity is really important, especially for those of you who are doing any kind of vocals for the most part, but especially with rap and hip hop. We try to focus on getting the mix, having the vocals be very upfront. So you could hear, as I turn that impedance, we get very different characteristics in terms of that proximity effect. And this thing is not that much more expensive than a CL1. So had I known about this at the time, I would have opted to just go with the Cloudlifter Z. I'm hearing so much more potential just with this mic and the SM7B. I've never been that crazy about the noise floor of the SM7B, and it's also just very picky when it comes to gain and preamps, and it works differently with different performers. So having the extra tonal shaping ability and the control with the Cloudlifter Z is essential. If you have any questions or comments about the Cloudlifter Z, or if you have any experience with it and you want to share it with others, feel free to leave a comment below. If you like this review and you want to see more like it, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing, and we'll talk to you soon.
Everything's in due time. Sweat and tears, they water the vine. So it's all in due time.